Hi, I'm Jim Piccinich with First Line Equipment, and today we'll be going over the Vibiemme Electronic Super HX machine. Today we have two guests behind the scenes from Cups and Cakes out of Rumson, New Jersey. And here is their postcard. You can order some cups and cakes from them. They do mail order. Alright, so we're going to go over the machine. This is an electronic version that has 4 dosage program buttons and a semi-automatic button. The machine has been warming up for about 20 minutes. One most important thing is to make sure the group head is nice and hot, and also the portafilter is hot. If you can keep your hand around the portafilter, it's not hot enough. So to heat it up even further, you want to run some water through the group head. And one of the questions that were posed before about the gauges, on this side is your steam pressure gauge, on this side is your pump pressure gauge. Only look at this pump pressure gauge when you're making espresso. Okay, so we can turn the on-off button here for use it as a semi-automatic, and you're going to want to use this button when you first initially start using the machine till you get the right grind and the right pour. Then you can start programming the other 4 buttons. Okay, so now this is so hot that I can't keep my hand on the portafilter. Okay, and while we're doing that, we get some stuff ready here. We have a Quaymar grinder, which we're using. And basically we're going to program the coffee. Okay, and basically what you want is enough coffee to fill the rim of the basket. Okay, and you can smooth it out without tamping it down. And then what I like to do is grab a full-size tamper. On this machine's 58 millimeter. And as I tamp, if you notice, I put my fingers on the tamper, like in such fashion, and I tamp down until the rim of the tamper is the rim of the basket. Okay, if you're using a plastic one, it's going to be less, and which means you'll need to put more coffee. Tap it a little bit, wipe off, and then just a little polish. Now, for this video, just to let you know, we didn't pre-program this grinder, so we're going to see how the pour comes out. So this will be a little troubleshooting. The cup you kind of want nice and hot. You don't want to pull an espresso shot into a cold cup. And again, the semi-automatic button. Coffee should start coming out about 5 to 7 seconds. So we're about 4, 5, 6. And now this pour is too fast. Okay, and as you can see, you're not getting that much crema. The pump pressure that you're showing here is about 6 to 7, which is a little low. And we're going to turn that off. So one of the things that is incorrectly here is the grind is not fine enough. We want to keep the same amount of coffee like I showed you, and we want to tamp the same way. So the only thing you need to change is the grind. So we're going to go a little finer on the grind, and then you'll see the pump pressure go up, and we want to be between 8 and 9, but we also want a slower pour. Pour that out. We knocked out the coffee. We'll clean out the basket, and we'll go a little finer on the grind. And we're also going to take some coffee out to get it out of the chamber. So changing the setting doesn't automatically give you that grind fineness. You got to clear some coffee out of the grinder. And this is every grinder that you own. Okay, so the grind came a little finer. I'm going to smooth it out, basically to the rim. Again, tamp. You're tamping by volume here, so you're tamping rim to rim. And then twist, knock, and just a little polish. Lock this into place. Again, as a semi-automatic. now the pump pressure is going up to about 10, and it's taken more than 7 seconds. So now I need to come back a little bit on the grind fineness. Okay,
That's
nothing
too
is
fine.
coming in. Now it's too fine. Okay, so we're going to take that out, knock it out. And we're going to come back a little bit. Get some coffee grind out. Now you'll notice, of course I got a little more coffee. So I'm just going to wipe off the excess there. Okay. Right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It usually takes 3 tries for me, but for many others it takes many more tries. Now you can tweak this a little more. We can go a little finer here, just a tad bit finer, and we get, like, if you look at the mouse tails that we're getting. So for some this may be too much, for others this may be just perfect. And then right at the 2 ounce mark,
Looks pretty good.
this is what you want. If you look, there's a Guinness effect, like Guinness
Yes.
beer.
Yes.
Let me put it down here for the video camera. Okay, and look at all that crema.
Nice.
That's beautiful.
Okay, and let me see if I can find a glass. Now we're going to steam some milk pretty quickly. You can use whole milk, 1%, 2%. Some customers use soy. Typically on a pitcher you want to start out with a cold pitcher. You want about 1/3 to 1/2 full. Okay. Really important on the steam wand. See that little condensation that built up in the pipe? You want to clear that out. Okay. And then I like to hold the pitcher in one hand, put my hand on the bottom of my other hand on the bottom, and the reason is my hand becomes the temperature gauge for the milk. When it becomes too warm to the touch, the milk is just right. So in this case we can make a cappuccino, and I'm going to try to get it angled here, but it's going to be a little difficult with the camera. I keep my pitcher on an angle, and the reason I'm keeping it on an angle is I'm trying to create maximum depth for the wand and the steam tip. Okay, so some customers like to go flat. I do like to go on an angle. Now, if you hear the swishing sound, that's what builds up the froth. And as it builds up the froth, the volume of milk is increasing because it's getting injected with steam. Okay.
So you're really only putting the tip in, you're not going...
Just putting the tip in to the surface of the milk.
Okay.
And as the milk is rising, I'm lowering the pitcher. And right now it's very hot to touch.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look, that's called microfoam, very small bubbles, okay, that are in the milk. Some customers like to tap, shake, and some customers like to make the espresso right into the cup because right now it breaks up the crema. So if you can, you go right into the cup that you're going to be consuming the beverage. And if you look at that thick froth that's just pouring out.
Beautiful.
Wow, very nice.
Okay, so now you also see like another Guinness effect. Okay, as far as now that we have the right grind, now you heard the machine refilling there because we took some steam out. When we took some steam out, the water level in the boiler dropped. So the sensor picked that up, so the machine will refill itself. Unlike the machine that you had previously where it didn't after you steamed. So this will refill.
Can we refill the tank
You could refill the tank on the fly.
on the fly?
You could pour into here.
You can.
The only downside to pouring when the tank is in the machine or the reservoir is in the machine is that if you get water spilt anywhere internally, and this is any machine, you can damage any electrical components. So
Probably
normally I
should-
say take the tank out,
Okay.
just as a safety precaution. But you can fill it on the fly. We do use this machine for catering, off-site catering, and we will fill it on the fly because people are just waiting.
With the
So-
funnel and...
With a funnel, right? Okay, so let me tamp, knock, tamp, and in this case I'm tamping very lightly. So say we want to program. You're going to hold the semi-auto button in until the light starts blinking. Then I press the button I want to program. Now this is beautiful right here.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe out of water.
Out of water?
Either that or the hoses came. Let me see. Nope.
There it goes.
Okay, so once I program 2 ounces, I'll hit stop. You wait 5 seconds, and now the button is programmed.
So
It might have gone through another refill on this. That's why we heard that noise.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why you heard a little bit of a change in the noise, but it probably went through another refill for the steam boiler, because it will. There's a sensor in there that measures.
So then that's programmed for a
That's-
double,
This is now programmed for a double for 2 ounces
2 ounces.
for this coffee on this grinder.
Right.
When you get back to your shop, you're gonna have a different grinder, different grind, different coffee. So you have to reprogram. Okay, so
Once we get the right amount to come
right.
through.
So you're gonna use the semi-auto button till you get the right amount of coffee
Okay.
coming out, the nice crema coming out on the coffee you're using. Then you have 4 buttons here. So you have 2 singles, so you can have like a short, like you can have 3/4 of an ounce and an ounce. And then you can program this for 1.5 ounces and 2 ounces. If you want to program this for 6 ounces for a very large cafe lungo, you could do that. But typically, short, regular, or a regular and a lungo, a long, and then a double of that. And you could program all 4 of these on this machine.
Okay.
Okay. 2 schools of thought for leaving. First of all, the portafilter should always be left on
Right.
the machine because the portafilter has to stay hot. But there's 2 schools of thought. Do you leave the coffee puck inside with the machine? And the school of thought behind that is they say yes because it reduces the over temperature of the group head. The group heads on E61 machines tend to run a little hot. So if the machine's been sitting for more than 5 minutes, I always suggest that you run a few ounces of water through the group head to get any steam out. Okay, because sometimes steam will build up in it, and that's normal. So the one school of thought is leave the puck in there. It takes the heat out of the group head
With the old grinds.
with the old grinds.
Yeah.
However, these old grinds have rancid coffee oils in them, and that ends up in the screen up here. So if I wipe, you'll start seeing some coffee grinds, which will affect future espressos. So now we're going to get into back flushing and cleaning this group head. Okay, so let me knock that out. Put this one on the side. And the other portafilter, let me go over here because I know I put it in the box. The other portafilter, the single, as I said, don't use the single basket. They typically don't make good espresso. There are some people who will disagree with that, but I've always made better with a double cup. So I use the single spout portafilter. with the blind, no holes, blind insert. And what I like to do is get some detergent, Cafesa, pulley calf, whatever you have. And I like to use a minimal amount, okay? What we're doing here is called back washing or back flushing. This is what's going to clean behind the screen. I'm going to show you how to clean the gasket with it. And as I said before, you can use the brush. But there's a way to use the cleaner to clean the gasket. This is also going to clean back up in here in the pipe and also this area back here. Because after you stop making the coffee, you'll hear like a swishing sound of excess water pressure coming out through here. That's so you can remove the portafilter, load it up again, and make your next one. There's no wait time. So about this much detergent. We're going to lock it in. Okay. I typically run it for about 10 seconds and I do 3 to 5 rounds. Okay. This process should be done once every 50 espressos, our recommendation. Turn it on. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it off. See all the stuff coming out right there? That's detergent coming out. And once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn it off, and I'll show you. As you can see, some of the detergent's now turning to a foaminess, and in here it's starting to get cleaner. This part that I'm going to show you in the third round, you have to be more careful because you can burn yourself. So I'm going to turn on the pump, but before, if you notice in the first two, you hear the loud noise, the pump generating pump pressure, and then once it goes up to a certain pressure, it goes to a hum, normal for the pump. Turn it on, but I'm going to loosen this. This is called a wiggle. So what's happening is the water and solution are overflowing over the basket, hitting the gasket that's inside, and then I'll lock it in. At this point, you don't want to take it off because it'll come flying off. Turn it off. And then at this point, now I'm going to start the rinse process. And 3 quick rinses at 10 seconds each. This is now to get the detergent out. 4, 5, 6, okay. These I'm doing a little faster. As soon as the pump goes to a hump, we're under pressure. Now the most important thing. After cleaning or back washing or back flushing, make an espresso and throw it out. The reason is because in case there's any extra detergent in there, the coffee will absorb that detergent. So you have to make it, you kind of have to dirty the machine after cleaning the machine.
Right.
Okay. Any questions?
You haven't emptied the
drip tray? This
drip
just
tray.
slides
How much
right
is-
out.
Okay.
It's already half full.
Okay.
So you just slide that out. As far as cleaning the tank, don't put anything in the dishwasher. It has to be hand washed. The tank reservoir should be cleaned once every 2 weeks with dishwash detergent. Just take it out and clean it so you don't get any mold buildup. This, just wash it by hand and you can put it right back in place. And the same with the drip tray screen that's right here. Okay. And then descaling is a whole nother process to clean the internals on the machine. We can't do that for this video, but I could show you or give you a script on how to do it. It's about an hour to 2 hour process. Any other questions?
No, it looks.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to, if you could show me again
The
steaming, because so you only put it in that high.
Right, and
Okay, that's very different than what we've ever done.
right, because the previous machine you had was a little different setup.
Yeah.
For the commercial grade machines, it's only going to go in about that high. Now, if you're making lattes, and I can show you how to make a latte, it's going to be the espresso. Just rinsing out the pitcher. Make sure you start with a cold pitcher. So for a latte, you probably want about half full to even 3/4 full, depending on the size of your cup that you're serving. The reason is because you're not injecting any air in the milk, so it's going to be straight milk that you're just going to steam and make very hot. So that's why lattes are more expensive in coffee shops and cafes, is because you're using twice the amount of milk. That's why they always charge more. So again, bleed the steam. For the latte, of course, you have your espresso made, or you could be making it. But now you're going to go in. See, I'm touching bottom. I'm coming a little bit off the bottom. And you're not hearing the swishing sound. It's just you are steaming the milk until it gets hot. And for me, it's hot to the touch. Okay, now you hear the screeching. That's usually when I stop, because the screeching is when the milk is starting to, the proteins are going to start breaking down and it's going to scorch the milk. So if you look, there's very little foam in there, but it's piping hot to the touch.
Okay.
And then for this, you'll just pour, I don't have another clear glass, but you'll just pour the espresso in, and the milk, you don't pour down the center like I did for the cappuccino. You're going to pour the steam milk down the side, and it revolves around with the espresso and caramelizes with the espresso, and that's what creates the latte.
Okay, nice.
All right, anything else?
The only
Yep.
question I have is cleaning the steam head.
For this, just basically you don't want to take any type of abrasive towels or detergents. Just let it soak in water, or cold water or hot water, and then you just wipe it with a towel and it comes right off. If it starts to turn brown, it means it's multiplied many times over. Then there's a cleaning solution by Ernex and some other vendors, even Espresso, that will sell where you can let it soak overnight and the brown stuff will come off.
Okay.
So, but this, yeah, you should put this in a cup of water right away, hot water, and basically there's a machine to refill because we steam some milk. And that's pretty much it. Any other questions?
No,
Thank you.
so.
No,
Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.